We've also been joined in studio by Hannah. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling this morning?
I am very well, thank you.
All right, good to have you here.
Thank you.
It's been 6 years, almost 7 years in pursuit of justice. Having that legal process come to an end on Friday, did you feel like a weight was lifted off your shoulder? Is there closure that comes with it, or essentially, how did it feel?
Actually, it felt very good. It was like a relief. And personally, it gave me peace of mind in knowing that Willie Kimani's death was not in vain. And also, it will help me with closure. And at least, personally, I really got to know what really happened that day. That really helped a lot in the healing process. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it brought you closure, and it helps you to know
Yes.
what really happened.
Yes.
Given the details, some of which have been highlighted by Eric, and some of which have been highlighted by Agre, is there some of it you wish perhaps you didn't know?
Sometimes, for me, I think knowing the truth was really, it made me feel much more better, because I had so many questions, but no one could answer those questions. Even as much as maybe I could ask IJM for answers, they could not fully give me answers of what really happened that day. But it really helped me to find a closure in knowing how Willie died. Although it was very painful, but at least I was able to deal with it.
Did you feel, once that sentence was handed down, did you feel that justice was done?
To me, actually, I shed tears, but they were tears of joy, because as you know, in Kenya, actually, there was a time Justice Lesit she was promoted, so we felt like maybe she will not continue listening to this case. So therefore, we personally had mixed emotions, because we were like, now if she's been promoted, if you're given another judge, then we are going to start all over. Then that case is just going to be dead and gone. But we really thank God that they allowed her to continue handling that case, and eventually the courts, they gave us justice that we deserved, but really deserved. Because that morning he had woken up to go and earn his daily bread, and in his line of duty he was assisting someone. Then quite unfortunately someone thought they should end his life.
Were you a stay-at-home mom?
No, that time I was doing farming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you do to this day?
No, but
Okay.
partially.
Oh, but partially.
Yeah.
All right. So what have the last 6... Are you comfortable reflecting back on these memories? Let me start there.
It's okay.
It's okay?
It's okay.
All right. So how have the last 6 years been like for you?
The past 6 years have had its share of ups and downs, but usually the most difficult part is when the children ask questions, because like for the second born, he has no memory of the dad. But if you show him a photo, he'll tell you this is dad, but there is nothing else. Then for Castro is the one who asks, he asks a question, so what happened? Then you explain in a language, you cannot go too much into details, but you just explain in a language he can be able to comprehend. So you answer the questions as he asks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was that day like for you? My understanding of the newspaper reports I've read is that he left for work.
Yes.
His father says he checked in on him, found out if he required medication, I think for, his bones. And then, so he left for work, and then the reports are that he wrote a note on tissue paper or something like that, passed it on with your number. Was it your number?
No,
it was the client's wife's number?
The client's wife, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To reach out that they're in danger.
Yeah.
When did you start to get concerned?
That day was like any other normal day. So he woke up, he prepared himself. He left home at 6 a.m. So he was picked by a boda rider. So he dropped him off at Alliance, where he met with the taxi driver, Moirore. But he was to be home by around 2 p.m. He was supposed to be home. So 2 p.m. 3 p.m., 4 p.m., he's not yet back. So, but I tried to call him. His phone was ringing, but no one was answering. So in the evening at around 7:30 is when a colleague of his, Lucy, called me, and she asked me, is Willie at home? I told her no. I asked him, why are you asking why Willie is not at home? So she told me they are thinking that maybe Willie was abducted, and they are looking for him. Yeah, that is what happened that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you get a sense, what were the emotions you're experiencing at that time?
Actually, there were mixed emotions. Actually, what was even worrying me is, what am I going to tell the parents? That was my biggest worry. I was wondering, what am I going to tell them? Because now the following day in the morning on Friday, I was wondering, do I tell them, or do I not tell them, or do I just let the day pass? So during the day, I called my mom and I explained to her what had happened. So she told me, just go look for them and inform them that Willie did not come home, but the organization he works for, they are looking for him.
Okay.
Yeah, literally, do we know that he had, by that day he had already even died. He had already passed on. Because to us, he died that day, 30th.
Hannah, you could tell us, was this sort of work? He was a human rights lawyer, Willie. Was it something he sort of fell into, or was it something he was passionate about?
I think since he began working, that is at political release prisoners, I think his passion began from there. Yeah, but we never thought that it would end his life. You know, he would give you stories, and I used to ask him, "You're not scared? What if you die?" Then he was like, "No, you only die once." So, but it's a job he used to enjoy, and he did it with a lot of passion. Actually, even back home, if someone was caught by police, they would just call him, and that person, he would even go to the police station, and that person will be released. So it was something he was passionate about. Yes, since his years in released political prisoners. Yeah. Okay.
And speaking as somebody who's lived through this, what sort of support do families who find themselves in this position require? Because Agre has talked about how for some people, the last time they saw their loved ones, they were arrested, they go to the police station, they're told, oh, they were released. As for where they are, we don't know. So what helps the most for you?
For people like me, what helps the most, like when Willie passed on, I just made sure we've gone for counseling for 3 years. And they also give us somebody, psychosocial support, someone who'd always call just to ensure we are doing well. And also our family members, they really supported us through up until now. Yeah. But most importantly, praying helped a lot. Yes.
Right.
And also having the children, you know, the children, they are a constant reminder of Willie Kimani. So like they offer you some source of comfort, even if he's not there, but they offer you some source of comfort. Yes.
All right. You came from a situation where you had a partner.
Yes.
In life, you know, you could do your farming, but Willie was also bringing in a paycheck.
Yes.
Is financial support important for families in similar situations? Because now you have 2 children, you have a 4-year-old, you have a 9-month-old, right? So they're heavily dependent on you. They have to go to school, they have to eat. Did you receive assistance?
Yes, we did. And also, allow me to say this, as it's important for our men to also support their women, because no one knows when they are going to pass on. But also, IJM, they really supported us to pick up the pieces, and we moved on, and especially for the parents. Yes.
All right, so financial support is also critical, important. Finally, been able to trace that front page standard headline, and it's death for the beast of Mavoko. Frederick Leliman was a police officer whose responsibility was to keep law and order. However, when he ran afoul of a border rider who couldn't stomach his bullying, all he knew was to kill. He not only killed the rider, but also anyone who stood in his way, and took beer and nyamachoma to celebrate the heinous act. He got a date with the hangman on Friday. When you look at this man, Hannah, do you see a beast? Or do you feel sorry for him? Did you face him in court? Were you able to? After hearing what he did?
Yes. Actually, when you're in court, you almost feel like you want to ask him a question. You want to ask him why. But then again, you cannot. Actually, on Friday, I had thought of going with the children. Because for Castro, if you tell him, he'll understand. So I wanted to go with Castro to court and just tell him these are the people who killed your dad. But then again, I said I will not do that. I don't want it to have a negative impact in his life, because maybe he would think maybe the policemen are bad. Because sometimes he'll say, when I grow up, I want to become a policeman. But when I see that man, I don't think he looks like a beast. He's a normal human being. Maybe it is only that maybe that day he exercised his power wrongly, or he made a bad decision that day. And unfortunately, the law caught up with him, even if it's much, much later, 6 or 7 years, or maybe it was something he was used to. He was used to killing people, dumping their bodies, and maybe no evidence is found or no body is found. But maybe with the Willie's case, he could not get away with. Maybe it was a stopper for him.
Yeah. But Hannah, I'll let you have the last word. How would you like us to remember Willie?
How would I like you to remember Willie? As a person who was very passionate about his work. He was also very hardworking, and most of all, he was a go-getter. When he set his mind on this, he will surely achieve it, no matter how long it takes. And I think Agri can agree with me. That's who he was. And he was a very happy person, very cheeky, and most of all, he loved his family very, very much.
Cheeky?
Yes.
So he would play pranks on people, or?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I'll end the conversation there. Thank you very much, Eric Theuri. He's the Law Society of Kenya president. We've also been joined by Willie Kimani's widow, Hannah Kimani, and Agri Juma from the International Justice Mission Kenya chapter. And I will close this image because I'd like to leave us with a good memory, and that is one of Willie Kimani. May he rest in peace now that justice has been done. Have yourself a good morning.